obviously, being public, it's going to be a long haul, but pretty good start, I guess, to the mission.
Yeah, it's a really good first step in what we think is going to be a long journey for us. And, we're very realistic and we put everything in perspective. And it's really important that we put the good wins in perspective, like, at times potentially having to put the bad losses into perspective. So today worked out, well for us, but we're also well aware of the journey that Hawthorn's on too.
I guess, they came pretty hard at you in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Was it really pleasing, I guess, the response from the team and then to just really go on with it after that?
Yeah, we knew that we were going to be tested defensively, and Hawthorn have really troubled. They played Geelong and Collingwood in the pre-season games and really tested both of those teams defensively, and Collingwood and Geelong are very good defensive units. So if you can work the ball through them, then you're a chance against most teams. So, and that's an area historically that we've been poor at. So we had a big focus on that, and Hawthorn challenged us as we expected they would. And it was good character of the boys to stick to the plan and fight back. And in the end, we looked pretty dangerous going forward as well. So to have 13 goal scorers, and to see Alwyn Davey Jr. and Jai Menzies and Archie Perkins, he's a player that a lot of people have said, he's got a lot of talent, and I'm not a massive believer in talent, I'm a believer in capability, and he's very capable.
Just on Davey, obviously one of the highlights of the game, he missed those first couple, finally gets on the board. Such an exciting moment for fans, and his old man's in the crowd.
Yeah.
Can you speak about the excitement that he's brought to the club?
Yeah, he even playing for Vic Metro as an underage, I was watching him through a different lens at that stage, but he's an exciting player, and there's quite rightly a lot of talk about Will Ashcroft and Harry Sheasel, but I think if you talk to those guys, at Vic Metro, they love playing with Alwyn Davey. So it's hard not to get excited about Jaden. We'll take a long-term approach with him as well, but they're both, Jaden and Alwyn, have brought great energy and excitement to our club, and combining that with Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody, and Jai Menzies, and Matt Guelphy to come back into the side. There's an area that really Guelph had to carry on his own last year, and now we've got some more players who can come in and play those roles.
How hard did you have to work to get Waller to change his mind?
Well, not hard, because I think once I'd spoken to him, he was pretty keen to play AFL footy again. It was just a question of where it was going to be. So it was credit to the club. We worked really hard on showing him the path forward, but also we didn't make any promises. I mean, what is it, almost 600 days since he's played, and the journey for him at times seemed like it might be insurmountable, but he just has worked extremely hard, and he's got a long way to go, but he's worked extremely hard, and he deserved his spot in the team today. And I just thought it was a great moment for Essendon fans and for our club. We've had some tough times over the last little period there, and while perspective's important, we've got a long way to go. We should celebrate the little wins too, and that was just a great moment when Waller came on the ground.
Is a sub the perfect way to reintroduce him to footy, and do you kind of put that as the position for the next few weeks while he builds? What's your thinking?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, we've probably got a couple of guys that we'd like to expose at different times, so that the sub does give a little bit of flexibility to be able to either play them in that role or sub them off. But we've gone the opposite way in the pre-season. We played him for 5 periods in different games just to get match load into him, but he played all of our match simmer training, all of our intra-club stuff, played both practice games. So yeah, he deserved his spot, but he knows better than anyone that to play 125 minutes of high-level, high-pressure AFL footy, which is the way he plays, he's got a lot of work to do still.
Halfway through that second quarter, CJ kicks that great goal on the run. You go 3 points down. There'd been a lot of ping-pong footy at that point. What did you make of how the team responded from there?
Yeah, we probably thought that we're going to have those moments where Hawthorn, just really attack, and they play. They're going to be an exciting team to watch this year because they really take the game on and they attack, and particularly off halfback. So, we had to be wary that we had to defend that, but also not, it's easy for a coach to say we want to stop it every single time. There were going to be times where they got through us, just like they got through Geelong and Collingwood in the pre-season. So it was about keeping composure and sticking at what we were trying to do. And for the large majority of the game, we did that.
Obviously, without Peter Wright and String, your two biggest goal kickers from last year, take, as you mentioned, 30 individual goal kickers, but also 16 marks inside 50. Did that surprise you how well it worked up forward without those two?
Yeah, well, I mean, the best laid plans often never work, and it's nice when they do. So, but we had to move pretty quickly when, Peter Wright is and will be for a long time the mainstay of our forward half, and the reality is we're not going to have him for the majority of this season. So we had 48 hours to make some adjustments, and the thing I'm excited about, and I'll continue to be excited about, is that I think we had probably 8 or 12 players who could have played. If they were, some are injured, but some missed out, who could have played round one and easily been selected. So there's going to be an opportunity to keep, turning over the magnets to find the best mix. And we found a way today, but other times we know that it's going to be hard without Pete. But Sam Wiedemann and Harrison Jones really stood up for us today.
How do you assess your defensive effort overall, given that's obviously an area of focus for you this year?
Yeah, better. Not perfect, and I don't think any coach will sit here and say their defensive effort was perfect. But hopefully you could see what we were trying to do defensively, and there were some good signs. And both in terms of our back six held up under pressure, but I thought the pressure up the ground was terrific. Some incredible chase down tackles, and I think the pressure for the large part of the game was really good.
Just on the back six, on the ball was probably something the Essendon fans haven't seen all that much of. Was that something that you earmarked early in the pre-season, or when did you decide to go with that?
Sorry, I just missed the start of that question.
So Kyle Langford behind the ball was probably something that Essendon fans haven't seen as much of. When did you sort of earmark that?
Pretty late in the piece. I mean, I was being pretty strong publicly about wanting to play players in their best positions, and we have a big focus on what they do well. And the problem with Langers is he does a lot well in all parts of the game. Previously he's played forward, back, midfield, ruck, wing. So it's Nick Cox fits into that category for us too when he's fit and available. So we really felt that we wanted to shore up our back half, and there's pretty well documented we might be a little bit undersized back there, but if we can work together and work as a good defensive unit, we're going to be a chance to defend better than we had previously.
Do you see that moving forward, or do you think it's a bit of a moving beast and he could swing back forward again, or do you see that happening going forward?
I think I like the look of him back there today, and Blake Carousel has done a lot of work with our defence and has done a really good job. But we'll have some other players come back there at different stages, and Langers just gives us flexibility to be able to move things around, both within game and from game to game.
You facing Will Satterfield had a pretty decent impact as well. What do you make of his club debut?
No, he and Sam Wiedemann have been really important to the club, not just the team, and not just what they do on field. They are, we've got a lot of work to do in terms of embracing what an elite AFL lifestyle looks like. And you can only, it's hard to do that if you don't have role models. And both Sam and Will Setterfield are professionals. Should go without saying in AFL footy, but it's not always the case. So they've been great, but the 200 gamer today in Dylan Shield is, I've seen some professional players in my time. He's up there with the best of them. And Zach Merritt really, he played fantastically today as our captain, and he leads the way in professionalism too. And Hawthorn clearly did their work on Zach, but he was a big part of the reason we were able to wrestle back control of the game based on the way he went about it for us.
Just he came off with a shoulder, is he?
Yep. He said to the guys on the bench when I could hear it through the mic that he's absolutely fine. So, just must have copped a knock that took the wind out of him, but no, his shoulder's fine. I thought it was his shoulder too, but he just got the wind taken out of him.
What went through your mind on Friday morning when you get the word about Peter Wright 2 days before round one and you return to coaching? Your best and fairest winner, dislocated shoulder.
Well, to be honest with you, the first thought is like showing the right level of empathy to Pete. I mean, he's worked so hard, and talk about professionally, he's another one who is just a thorough professional and sets a great example. And we re-signed him to an extra 4 years, which he thoroughly deserves. But it was a good test for us because straight away the medical team, there's a possibility we could rehab it and strengthen the shoulder and maybe have him back in 4 to 6. It's like, no, just get him right for the long term and we'll find a way around that. We'll expose other players, and that's what we've been saying consistently through the pre-season, and that'll still be, the way we'll look at it going forward.
You mentioned the names missing and the new names coming in. What does sort of today do for the wider cohesion of your group?
Sorry, either I'm deaf or...
Sorry, it's my bad. So players missing, new players coming in. What does today do for the wider cohesion of your group?
Yeah, it does a lot. I mean, we want some, excitement in the team, and we want some, if we're going to defend better, we need guys who can actually get after the opposition when we don't win the ball. And, I think that there are a lot of players who really displayed that today, and it's not just about, forwards applying pressure. It's all over the ground, and I thought the mix looked pretty good, and the energy looked pretty good. But again, the takeout for me is it's a good day for us. Our supporters have been through a lot. They should be really excited, but don't take your eye off what we're trying to build over the long term.
Just from your own experience, Brad, obviously your first day back in the coach's box after several years. How did you find it? How did you find game day, the whole experience?
I've missed it. I mean, it's a privilege to be in the role, and it's a privilege to do it at a great club like Essendon. But the vast majority of my work is behind the scenes, trying to make players the best they can be, and to try and create a world-class football environment for Essendon. I think if we do that, we can get the stability that we've craved for a long time. So game day is just the culmination of all the hard work that goes on behind the scenes.
Is Jones okay? Jones?
Yep. He's had a bit of an interrupted pre-season, so we just replaced a tall forward for a small.
Any other issues?
No, we're all clear on the medical front.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.